immortal self, using all methods: reason, science, faith, meditation, and art, aesthetic experience. It will show how she can master both solitude and society, and relationships, and what the difference between the toxic dyadic relationship and the healthy triadic relationship is. Also, what the solution to the problem of sex is. That is, you will learn you are not a man, you are not a woman, you are an androgen. This, an androgen, is your primary identity. Man or woman is your secondary identity, as both St. Paul and Berdyaev teach. Quote, Galatians 3. There is neither male nor female in the spirit and in truth. Lastly, we have the third part of the book, the Jedi order. Having been educated, we show you how to educate everyone else on the planet by changing our 7 global institutions, giving their true concept, what's wrong with them, and what the solution is, how to correct them so they truly educate. Our major institutions are, in brief: 1, science. Here you will learn that science is in fact the universe's knowledge of itself. That what passes for science on our planet is not science, knowledge of what is, of the truth, but rather cave science, the knowledge of what is not. That our science is harmful in the extreme because its materialism is nihilism, and it must be demoted to opinion or pre-science. The solution is absolute true science. 2, education. You will learn that education on our planet is in fact miseducation, as it focuses primarily on the outer realm of what is, the force, and ignores the inner realm. The solution is holistic, inner-based true education into the truth and based on absolute science. 3, religion. You will learn that our religions today are not religions, as they are not re-lagareing or reconnecting the opposites, God and us, heaven and earth. Hence, as a result, the interminable hatred, killing, conflict among them. The only solution is installing what we call Jedi sects in all our religions. We also show how the New Age's teaching that you are God can be corrected. We also show the true meaning of the phrase, God is dead. What does that mean? Well, in brief, it means the shift that we're undergoing right now in the world, in human history, the shift from the transcendence to the total immanence of God here and now. 4, politics. You will learn that our world's governments, leaders, and politicians have no clue as to what politics is really for, and are wreaking untold necessary havoc and misery as a consequence on the peoples of our world. The solution is right there on our currency, in our nation's motto, E pluribus una, out of many, one. the unity of all our citizens and our nations, grounded in the one arche, the one consciousness we all share and are. 5, business. Our businesses are steeped in the ego business model, which is the cause of untold economic and social misery. Greed, inequality, the so-called 1%. You will learn how this problem can be solved by switching to a different business model based on the truth of who we really are, and which benefits the rich as well as the middle class. 6, health, medicine and psychiatry. You will learn why our doctors and psychiatrists can never heal us, due to their lack of knowledge of what true health is, and to the false concept of man, of ourselves, that their education, that is their miseducation, has given them. The solution is holism, to activate our full nature as not just a body or a body and mind, but an absolute I as well. The absolute I, as in I am, is the cure of all diseases without exception, mental and physical. We will show you how to access the absolute I. Finally, 7, the arts and media. You will learn what the arts and media really are, and the power they harbor to heal our world and educate us into the truth in a very short time. Art, a la absolute science, is simply the truth itself in the form of sensuous beauty. The media are nothing but the technological extensions of our 5 senses, and are what mediate between ourselves and the world reality, shaping our consciousness and worldview in a powerful way. Lastly, as indicated, the Handbook uses Star Wars language in order to reach a wider audience, and because its concepts dovetail perfectly with the truth revealed in the history of philosophy and science. That is, the Force is the one reality that alone exists, aka God, the universe. And the Force has 2 sides, the light side and the dark side, consciousness and matter, subject and object, inner and outer. And the Jedi is our true immortal self, the Force itself, actualized and individualized. And we are quite optimistic concerning the question of when this global shift will happen. For copies of the book were sent to the White House, our senators, and other key people. We have personally heard from President Obama, Arne Duncan, head of education in the US, Hillary Clinton, and several members of Congress, all of whom are now reading the Jedi Handbook. It's just a matter of time. Finally, I will be giving future talks on global education and the Jedi Handbook, for example, at the Open Center in New York City during the summer months. So thank you all very much, and to my students especially. You've seen the films, read the books. Go and change the world. You can do it. And now, from the Handbook, page 141, a short excerpt on Hegel's logic entitled "The Secret to Logic and the Universe." As your Jedi, Hegel says, quote, "Concepts are implicitly movement," end quote. This means that concepts do not stay put. They are alive. They are all aspects, vanishing moments of the one living concept. Hegel goes on, quote, "All the words and concepts in the logic refer to the concept, for that is all that exists, nothing but the concept. The sense world matter has no true reality or existence. Things have only a being for another, consciousness, not a being for itself." This means that the terms, the words, concepts such as being, being there, substance, necessity, do not have a fixed meaning or definition or determinacy, oros. If they did, they could not flow into other terms and be a part of the movement of the life of the one living concept. Yes, they start out with a definite meaning, given to them by Verstand, or ordinary intelligence. But this original meaning soon changes into something else, when scrutinized more closely. In fact, changes into its very opposite. Being at first is, but then flows into its opposite, nothing, which does likewise. This sets up a movement, a vanishing of one into the other, and vice versa. A movement which can be called and congeals into becoming, which contains being and nothing, but now as moments, ingredients. So we now have, it seems, a fixed, definite, and secure definition of becoming, but not so. Indeed, the purpose of the logic is to show how all categories, determinations, are simply moments, dancers, if you will, in a great dance movement. They do not stay or stand still. They are restless activities, like the organs, the cells, the tissues, the systems in a living organism. Thus, looking at the living whole from a distance, the categories both are and are not. It is the same with the logic, the concept, the categories, the concept's contents or organs. And the categories are not meant to stand still, to remain the same, to keep the same fixed definition they initially had. And this is the main difficulty in understanding Hegel's logic. Everything changes, is fluid, in motion, for we are dealing here with one life, with a living, breathing entity. In fact, it is what your religions call God. So, you must, quote, forget yourself, as Jedi, Hegel, and others say, when you are engaged in logic and science. You must surrender your particularity to sheer universality. Take a bath in it. You must merge utterly with it. Merge your particular individuality with its universality. And remember, as Hegel says, quote, only the universal is necessary, not the particular or individual. Everything changes, is in motion, so beware of trying to, quote, understand a specific category and give it a fixed meaning. You cannot. This is the secret of speculative philosophy, of divine thinking. Namely, to think opposites in their unity. So, independent and non-independent are the same, as are being for itself and being for another. Also, I am in and for myself, independent or substance, only insofar as you recognize me as in and for myself and free. That is, I am dependent on you, on your recognition for my independence. I am substance and also posited by you. Thus, the concept, to repeat, is a living entity. It is God. As Schelling says, quote, for Hegel, the concept is God. And Hegel himself states that, quote, we must learn to know God as our true and essential self. Quote, science's task is simply to trace what is objective back to the concept, which is our innermost self. End quote. Thus, the concept is every object in the universe, the essence and inner being of everything. Therefore, there are two modes of knowing God, the concept, the force, this living entity, and two ways of being Jedi educated into this knowledge. Only two. The intuitive and the discursive. The intuitive way is by the Jedi point concentration method discussed in the book. If you keep doing this, eventually you will see before you the concept as a living, breathing, swirling, kaleidoscopic whole of determinacies, a sacred, holy whole, which you begin to see superimposed over and indwelling every object your attention lights upon, and every thought perception. Moreover, this is accompanied by special powers or abilities. This swirling whole also contains the sum total of all your life's memories, perceptions, and experiences in condensed form. But you do not see the determinacies, the moments, which are there in the concept. Only the Jedi, logician scientist does. The other way, the discursive way of being educated into the truth, who you really are, is achieved by immersing yourself in the logic and the specific categories, determinacies of the concept, and eventually mastering their perfect, fluid interconnection, movement in life as a unity of universality, particularity, and individuality. Thank you.